Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever tipping video of 2021. We are 2 days away from the AFL season starting back up, this time with fans of the MCG. That's what you love to see, and no better way to kick it off than the tradition. Richmond and Carlton, Thursday night, MCG, 50% capacity, I think I read not long ago. It should be a pretty easy tip for everyone that has a brain on their head this week. The Richmond Tigers, the reigning premiers, looked extremely good at the end of last season, beating the Geelong Cats in the grand final. They're coming off a 6-point win against Collingwood in their practice match. Jaden Short, he's one to look out for. Is he going to be the distributor of the half back line for the Richmond Tigers? If so, get him in your fantasy team. Carlton got some new acquisitions: Adam Sard, Zach Williams, who will be missing the game with suspension unfortunately, Sam Walsh on the rise. I think Richmond will kick a couple of late goals at the end of each quarter to really distance themselves at each break. Ultimately, I think Richmond's going to win it by about 27 points. Richmond will win by 27 points Thursday night to kickstart their back-to-back campaign. Friday night football, Collingwood vs Western Bulldogs. Same thing happened last year, I think, and Collingwood absolutely smacked them and gave them a new one. But this is a new year. Collingwood are a depleted side. Tom Phillips, Jaden Stevenson, Adam Treloar, Taylor Adams isn't playing as well. It's going to be really interesting to see how they deal with that loss in the midfield area. Ultimately, seeing De Goey go into the middle in their practice match against the Tigers, who we just talked about, I think he could really elevate his game to the next level, and I think Collingwood may have a chance to steal this one. Everyone's predicting them to slide, and everyone's predicting the Bulldogs to go up. I think Collingwood steal this one. They steal it by 13 points Friday night. We got Melbourne vs Fremantle, Saturday afternoon football. This is another one where I think the underdogs are the better shout. I know Melbourne are predicted to get into the finals race this year. I think I predicted them 8th in my season standings a couple of months ago. But I think Fremantle, the youth in their side, I reckon they can get the job done. I think they can actually get the job done against the Demons here. And I reckon they're going to get the job done by 20 points. The Demons may start slow. I hope I'm wrong. I want the Demons to succeed this year. They kind of remind me of my Redlegs from the SANFL. But I don't know. Something in my gut tells me Fremantle is the way to go. We won't go on to a game that we should predict quite easily. Adelaide Crows versus the Geelong Cats. The Geelong Cats, the retirement home. Sean Higgins, Jeremy Cameron, Isaac Smith, great acquisitions for them. Losing Gary Ablett Jr. to retirement is a bit sad, but I feel like they're going to be one of the best teams in the competition again this year, and they will smack a very young Adelaide Crows side all around the park. Adelaide Crows looked poor in their practice match against Port Adelaide, and I reckon Geelong win by 72 points. Yep, it's quite high, but this is how it goes. Matty Nicks may need to get the bottles out to show them how to play defense again. Essendon vs Hawthorn. This is a bit of a blood match game. Very interesting at Marvel Stadium, Saturday night. Hawks are actually the favourites over the Bombers here. That's interesting to see. Both teams are predicted low end of the ladder. But Hawthorn did look good against their game against North Melbourne, I think it was. North Melbourne is not expected to be any good this year though. But in saying that, I think they get the job done. I think they showed more promise than the Bombers in their practice matches. I don't even know how the Bombers went in their practice match. Let me check real quick. How did the Bombers go in their practice match? They lost by 7 to Geelong. Actually, I take that back. So they actually showed a bit more fight than I thought. Yeah, I'll flip my pick around. Essendon by 15 points. I thought they got smacked by a team, so they weren't really in my mind. But staying with the retirement home Cats, Essendon get the job done against Hawthorn by 15 points. Saturday night football. Another Saturday night football game at the Gabba. Brisbane Lions versus Sydney Swans. Is Buddy Franklin back? I'm not entirely sure. If he is, he could make it a game. He could make it interesting. But I feel like Brisbane, they'll be really salty with how they performed at the end of last season, and they'll whip the Swans by about 40 points in the end. It'll be close throughout the first half, and they'll pull away in the second half and put the brakes on them. Leave them in the dust. Sunday afternoon football, Port Adelaide vs North Melbourne. Port Adelaide win by 80 points. Next, Jeddah West vs St Kilda. Another interesting game. Giants are actually the favourites at Giants Stadium. I disagree. St Kilda have proven from last year that they're an up and coming team. They looked good against Carlton. Was that a practice match or was that an Amy game? I'm not entirely sure. But they did look good in that game, and I feel like they're going to continue that form from last year and bring it onto a whole new level this year, and I feel like they're a top 5 team this year. And last game of the round, West Coast Eagles versus the Gold Coast Suns. Matty Rao making his long-awaited return, but I feel like it won't be enough. West Coast Eagles at Optus Stadium are kind of like... I'm trying to think of a good comparison there, but they're pretty unbeatable at home, and that's just how it goes. West Coast Eagles win by 32 points on Sunday night football. Round 1 wrapped up. Game of the round, I reckon it will be Collingwood and Western Bulldogs. Game of the round. I said it was going to be a close one. I said Collingwood get the upset. I'm sticking by that. Game of the round, Collingwood versus Western Bulldogs, Friday night football. Doesn't get any better. No Bruce McAvaney though. Squirting his pants. But this is how it goes. Anyway guys, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to smash the like button. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.